Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 amazing perfumes under $100. In today's world, retail world, things are getting a little heated. Prices are going sky high. I have seen some designer prices going as high as like almost $200 for a fragrance, which is really just nuts, but it is the world that we're living in now. You can find each fragrance that I'm talking about today for under $100 retail. So I love this idea of fragrances that are a little more accessible. And if you guys like this type of video, I can definitely do some even like under $50. I have some fragrances in my collection that are amazing for around $50. So if you're interested in seeing that, leave a comment below, but let's jump into this video. So the first fragrance that we're going to be talking about is Kayali Invite Only. And I don't know if they recently raised their prices or not, but because I was under the impression that the 50 mls go for around $85, but this one in particular goes for around $100 retail. But on the Huda Beauty website, when you place an order, if you put in your email address, you can save 15% off. So I guess that would bring it down to $85. Invite Only Amber is my ride or die from Kayali. This scent just does everything for me. It just hits every single box of what I want in a perfume. It's bold, it's sweet, it's very sexy. It has kind of a dark, sensual, spicy side, but also kind of a sweet, gourmand, kind of soft, feminine side. Very, very sexy and complex. So the notes in Invite Only Amber, we have tobacco leaf, sour cherry, honey, chocolate, and hazelnut. You can see some of those more gourmand notes. Rose, cinnamon, amber, and agarwood notes with benzoin, sandalwood, and musk. Kayali just has this way of taking very likable scent kind of DNAs, like kind of basing their scents around like vanilla and rose, and just finding a way to really put this nice kind of Middle Eastern twist, this very like sexy, sensual flair on their scents. If you guys didn't know, the company is based out of Dubai. You can definitely find a lot of the inspiration in the notes that they use. This one is definitely going to be more for the fall and the winter time. You could maybe pull this one out for like summer nights, like especially if it's indoors, is probably better. I would not really recommend this one for the super high heat, but great for like any season but summer, spring, fall, winter, just because it's so deep and complex. I get something, it's not listed, but I get something a little boozy in this, almost kind of like a whiskey on ice note that really comes out even more on my skin. I've noticed like anytime that I've sprayed this on my arms, I keep getting whiffs of like this really sexy kind of like honey, very like sparkling whiskey. It's not like a very thick booziness. It's very minimal, but it's like it's on ice. The ice kind of like clinking up against the glass. It gives me that imagery, and it has a very beautiful, enveloping, sweet rose. I really think that Kayali is known for the rose that they use. Like it's very distinguishable. It's like a very common kind of DNA between their scents. Like I get the same rose in Invite Only Amber that I will find in things like Rose Oud from the Oudgasm collection. It's so unique, but it's still very easy to wear. It's a power move. This fragrance here is a true statement maker. It's like boss bitch type of energy, very empowering. It's intoxicating, and so far my number one Kayali. We'll see if they can top it, but so far this one has my heart. Invite Only Amber. So next we're going to be talking about a fragrance from a really great underrated brand from Sephora. This fragrance is called Vanilla Woods by the 7 Virtues. This is a clean beauty brand as well. It's Sephora allergen safe, so if you're someone that is sensitive to perfumes that give you migraines, this is a great option for you because they compose their fragrances of organic essential oils. It's like a very natural, like sugarcane alcohol, I believe, as well as the base in their scents. Plus they have a great brand mission. All of the essential oils that they use are sourced from war-stricken countries. It's a really great company, actually. It's all about women empowerment. It's women ran, and the fragrances are very, very good too. Definitely need to get to Sephora and try them as soon as possible. They're all very simple, but they're very nice scents. So in Vanilla Woods, you're going to get pear, rose, vanilla, caramel, and amber. Even in the air, it's so yummy. It's delicious. Such a stunning, just everyday type of vanilla perfume. Like this is the like no-brainer everyday vanilla scent. And I like it because it's not super, super sweet. It's not like synthetically really sugary, like an overdose of sweetness. It does have sweetness here, like that caramel note, but I like how the caramel note is done this because it's not like a burnt thick type of caramel. It's more like how I perceive it is like a hardened, like a cooled hardened caramel shell, if that makes sense. You get a very soft kind of rose and pear just surrounding that vanilla and caramel heart. It is really delicious. That's the best word to describe it. It's delicious and pretty linear as well, which is not a bad thing because this is just so, like, it's so good when it opens. You're not going to want the scent to change. I have shown this to a few of my friends and every single one of them went out and got a full-size bottle of this. It is so likable. Like, it's impossible to not love this scent, and it's a great price point as well for a 50 ml. For retail, they go for around $88. I love the brand mission, and all of their scents are really good, like Coconut Sun, Cherry Ambition, and the new vanilla one that they just released is really good too, but this is the heartthrob of the brand. It's just classic, and if you love vanilla, this is one that you need to try, especially if you're sensitive to perfume. So this next scent is from a luxury niche brand, and I wanted to show that luxury doesn't have to cost an arm and leg in the fragrance world. You just need to know where to look. So the fragrance that we're going to be talking about is Italica from Xerjoff or Casamorati, and when I bought this, it was $90, I swear, but it seems like they've raised their prices, and now the 30 ml is 111. Well, with the conversion, it's 111, but it is 105 euros. And that kind of goes for all of the 30 mls in the Casamorati collection, which there are so many amazing ones. Let me know if you'd like to see a buying guide of the Casamorati fragrances, because there are so many good ones and everyone only talks about, you know, Italica, Lira, Dama Bianca. There's so many gorgeous ones. This is an icon. This is another gourmand, more of a true gourmand than anything else I've talked about. It smells like panettone, and for that reason, this one is going to be a little more like situational. Most people like to pull this out in the winter, like around Christmas time, just because this is the most perfect scent, you guys, for like creating those scent memories around the holidays. It just smells like the holidays, and it just is going to take you to Christmas at home with your family, sitting by the fireplace and just eating a really beautiful dessert. It's a very milky, almondy vanilla with a cherry edge. So the notes in Italica, we have milk, almond, saffron, toffee, bourbon vanilla, sandalwood, and white musk. You guys, this is heavenly, absolutely heavenly. If you love very realistic gourmands, this is it, guys. This is said to be the #1 gourmand ever made. I can definitely see that in terms of being like the most realistic kind of gourmand, but somehow, some way, still very wearable as a perfume. I wore this a lot when I went to New York for my first time at Scent Explorer. I got so many compliments on this scent. Like, people just ate it up. It's so distinguishable and so special. There has to be cherry in this. It's not listed, but it has to be in here. There's something about almond and cherry that kind of goes hand in hand, giving off kind of like a cherry wood type of feeling. Plus with this saffron, it's so good. It is a masterpiece gourmand from Casamorati or Xerjoff. This performs just perfectly. It's very strong. You don't need too many sprays, and it's going to last at least a day, at least 24 hours, and on your clothes is going to last even longer. Like, we're talking weeks. This stuff is beast mode. It is worth every single penny, and it is $10 more over the $100 budget, but it is totally worth it. And I just thought it was worth mentioning so that you guys can realize that, you know, the world doesn't end at Sephora. You know, you can find a very luxurious fragrance for still around $100. So this is Italica from Casamorati. So now let's take things in a fresher direction. We're going to be talking about Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. If you guys didn't know, fun fact, Mon Guerlain was the first feminine targeted perfume that incorporated lavender, that lavender and vanilla combination that is so popular today and found in so many designer fragrances like Goddess by Burberry, YSL's Lieb. It's a very up and coming combination. We're seeing it more and more in today's designer world, and it's all thanks to Mon Guerlain. And I have the Eau de Parfum concentration here. For me, it's what I like the most. And it just makes me feel so beautiful and so elegant when I wear it. This one has been nicknamed the wife fragrance because it smells like a beautiful feminine wife, like a very classy, well-dressed, well put together woman. It's not a juvenile scent at all. It does smell a little more grown up, but not mature. This is, when I say grown up, I'm thinking like late 20s to like late 30s, but you could wear this with whatever age you are. There is no age to perfume, but it's just kind of the vibe that it gives off. So the notes, we have lavender, we have bergamot with iris, jasmine, and rose with vanilla and tonka bean. Sandalwood, licorice, which is also really well known for that licorice note, benzoin, and patchouli. This is just so lovely. There's something sweet and vanillic and green in the opening, but I like that the way the vanilla is done in this. It's a very, very natural vanilla, just like a vanilla pod. But there is a little bit of sweetness here. I love the combination as well. Just that lavender adds something so calming and soothing. It's so well blended. Guerlain is a house that you go to when you just want to smell classic. Very natural, very pretty, but still very relevant today. So balanced, lightly sweetened. It's a little like fluffy and very womanly. Something about the resins as well makes it a little bit balsamic. Very, very light florals too. Everything just works really beautifully together in this. The notes don't really jump out so much. It's almost like every single note is equally executed in this scent. You're not gonna get more florals or more vanilla. It's vanilla with all of these other notes surrounding it. It's classic, it's unique, and it is so pretty. An absolute must if you love just very feminine, girly perfumes. Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. So the last fragrance that we're going to be talking about is YSL's Black Opium Over Red, the newest Black Opium. And there seems to be a lot of cherry in this list, but that was not on purpose. This is the best Black Opium ever. I really wanted to include it because I've never been a fan of Black Opium. There has not been one that I liked besides the latest release, which was the Les Parfums. I did actually really like that one, but this one just knocks it out of the park. This is the queen of Black Opium. This takes the throne every time. The notes in here, there's cherry with mandarin orange and jasmine, orange blossom, black tea with Madagascan vanilla, coffee, and patchouli. I love the opening. I just get cherry, vanilla, and coffee. I love coffee in fragrances. Probably because I am majorly addicted in real life, but I'm working on it. We've cut it down to just one, sometimes two a day. It's so good. And what I like about the coffee in this is that it's not really giving like a latte vibe, like a creamy, milky latte. It's more of like a nice black coffee, like a ground coffee. It's just a touch bitter, which I think actually balances really well with the sweetness in this and the vanilla, but also the tea. The black tea note in this comes out more as it dries. And it's interesting because I found that with the original, well, most of the Black Opium flankers is that as it dries, it kind of gets thicker and sweeter and denser, but this one actually does the opposite. As it dries, it gets more fresh, which is really interesting to see because of that black tea. And I also like that the jasmine in this is not overdone. I think that the jasmine note that is so traditional in Black Opium is the reason that a lot of people didn't like the fragrance. They thought it was just a little bit too much. It's not overdone and over red. I like the way that this dries with this very refreshing, very uplifting tea note, very bright. It's not heavy feeling. It doesn't feel like it's gonna weigh you down. It's very sexy too, and just that coffee combination is so delicious. The cherry doesn't really stick around for most of the fragrance's life. You're gonna get mostly in the opening. You'll find a little bit in the mid and the dry down, but it's not going to be as like forward as it is in the opening. That's kind of the biggest complaint about this one, is just that the cherry doesn't stick around as long as everyone wished that it would, but it's very sexy. This will make you feel like a vixen. Very fun, very sensual, and you can pick up a 30 ml for around $95. Great price to get into the absolute best Black Opium Over Red. So ladies, that was just a quick overview of some fragrances that I absolutely love for under $100. Please in the comments below let me know if you'd like to see the under $50 version, because I actually have some really good bangers in my collection. Did I just say the word bangers? I'm so embarrassing sometimes, but I have some really good cheapies, like that under $50 range. It's fragrances that you could not believe smell so good to be so affordable. Let me know if you ladies would like to see that. I can definitely get it out there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.